Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Sorry it's been a while. If you saw my last Road to Ranked, I talked about how I've been pretty busy recently, and the last 2 weeks, like I had 2 midterms last week, I have a midterm this week, and some assignments, but once, basically past Friday, I should have a lot more time. And I also I think like Road to Ranked is at the point now where people are not as interested in watching like VGC 17 battles in general. And I definitely feel that because, you know, I think like VGC 17 at this point is kind of overexhausted. We're pretty much at the end of the format. There are a couple of regionals left. Daytona in Florida, Vancouver. I think those are the only two. Maybe there's a third one I'm forgetting. And then London Internats will probably still be this format. But yeah, you know, there just aren't that many events left. And we're going to be switching to VGC 18. Probably New Year's. That's what it was like last year. But regardless, like, you know, VGC 17 isn't as exciting, I think, to play or watch at this point. But I still obviously want to put out content. I think once 18 comes out, it will be really exciting. And this channel will be super, super active. But obviously, I still want to be able to put out content as long as you guys enjoy it and watch it. And so I do want to probably use some more eccentric teams on Road to Rank, so if you have any suggestions for cool strategies, let me know, because, you know, there's no better time to try it out than now, where we're just looking to have a fun time and have entertaining games. But yeah, for now, I'll still be using Ralph Dude's team. I'll probably switch to a new team in the next 2 or 3 days or so, now that I'm getting back into the swing of things. And let me know, as always, with your suggestions for Pokemon and sets in the comments below. I will take them into account. So, our first opponent of the day has a Drift Lele team, but also a Lilligant Torkoal, and then now you go into Salamence. That's like a terrifying combination of Pokemon in general. I'm really not very fond of that. So, I don't really know how to approach this one. I'm thinking... I mean, Salamence as a lead puts on pressure offensively. Salamence Persian, maybe? Maybe Salamence Marowak, actually. This seems kind of good. I do want Snorlax here because of its abilities to just high horsepower and facade things. And it seems like if I can eliminate Torkoal, then I have a field day with Celesteela. Persian doesn't feel too great here since most of my opponent's Pokemon are special attackers and there's a Lele. And Coco's kind of tempting, but there's an Ego, and, you know, I'll just get knocked out by an Eruption. So... yeah, it doesn't feel like the best Pokemon to bring into this matchup, but this team is something that I wanted to use because I'm not very familiar with it. And of course, if you want to check out this team, placed 3rd at the World Championships, check out the QR code in the description below, as well as the creator of the team, RalphDude90 on Twitter, and his Worlds report. You know, it's been over a month since Worlds, but it's still a really cool team. And we actually see the Lilligant Torkoal lead from my opponent, which I am okay with. So, yeah, we're going to get into this one. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. And just let me know what I can do to make the series more entertaining at this point, because I feel like, you know, every time we get to the end of the season, it's just not as entertaining to watch battles. And I totally understand that. So, you know, I was thinking just using some more creative teams and Pokemon, that might be fun. But if you have any other recommendations, definitely let me know. So, with Lilligant Torkoal coming out from my opponent, I might be put to sleep by... Like something could get sleep powdered here, but otherwise, that's fine. I kind of want to just go straight for offense onto Torkoal, but it could switch out. Let's see, what could it switch out into? Nothing can really take a combination of a Z-move and a Shadow Bone. And like I said, if I knock out Torkoal, then Celesteela just wins the game. I'm just going to go on heavy offense. Torkoal did switch out, unfortunately, but Lilligant's not going to do anything offensively. Lele switching is actually really good for me. Regardless of what Lilligant does here, that Lele is probably going to get knocked out either by the Z-move or the Shadow Bone. If Lilligant protects here, that's fine. It actually just opts the Sleep Powder, yep. And targets the Marowak, actually. But fortunately, yeah, I did Z-move into the Torkoal Sun. The reason why I went for that was because I was like, the only downside to this is if Torkoal protects. Now, that could have been kind of likely, but if you're in my opponent's position, you know Torkoal's not doing any damage. And yeah, it could Eruption, but it's against 2 Pokemon that resist it, so you're probably going to want to switch out. So I figured I could capitalize off that, and if it just stayed in and attacked, then I'd get a lot of free damage off, and if Sleep Powder missed, I just knocked it out. So I think the Supersonic Sky Strike should knock out this top Lele. Like, this is almost max attack Salamence, as it does. So that's actually really big. Had I targeted the Lilligant instead, I'd be in a pretty bad position, but by knocking out Lele, that's like, you know, one of the best Pokemon on my opponent's team to threaten both of my Pokemon. I am, however, worried about the potential Ego that could be in the back for my opponent, but, you know, knowing 3 of my opponent's Pokemon, we do see Ego come out. Knowing 3 of them and now knowing the 4th, that's all really helpful information for me. So, with Ego coming in, I'm definitely going to want to switch in. I might actually just double switch here. I mean, I could just Earthquake. I kind of want to gamble here with Salamence a little bit and just go for an Earthquake and switch out Marowak into Celesteela. Yeah. Because if it's not Life Orb... Actually, I don't know how much Power Gem does against me. I'm not too familiar with Salamence overall. It probably would have been better just to switch out into Snorlax to avoid giving it a Beast Boost. Lilligant just opts for Sleep Powdering, though. Okay, yeah. So at least I'll burn a turn of Sleep, but these Sleep Powders are kind of annoying. Power Gem comes out. Does it target that Immense? No, goes into Celesteela. Okay, nice. So that's good at least. But, yeah, this is like annoying because if my opponent misses like a single Sleep Powder, I basically win. But if I get max, I mean, this is like Lilligant in a nutshell, I guess. But now you gotta wonder, like, you know, Celesteela obviously does great against both of these Pokemon, so is my opponent gonna want to switch out this turn? I also could switch into Snorlax. Because I think now you might just Power Gem Salamence and Sleep Powder Celesteela. I think I'm actually going to switch into Lax and Protect Celesteela, you know, get some leftovers recovery. Just almost wide guard there. And then now it's like I have two Pokemon that threaten your Now Ego for a knockout. Only one of these Pokemon on my opponent's side can have a Focus Sash. I'm going to guess it's Lilligant, but Lilligant could be Z-move as well. Yeah. Unfortunate my opponent's hit the Sleep Powder so far, but can't complain much about that. Yeah, okay, Sleep Powder does go into Celesteela, and now he goes for Hidden Power. Nice. Okay, so it has HP Ice. Not Life Orbed. So maybe the Now Ego Sashed. Either way now, Lilligant can only put one of my Pokemon to sleep. Which is good. I think I'll just double up onto the Now Ego right now. With a high horsepower and a heavy slam. Because the issue is Lilligant's basically not doing any damage, so I can play around that right now. The sun's also slowly expiring. There are only 2 turns left, as you can see. So Lilligant opts to just Sleep Powder again. This time it's going to target down the Snorlax, but that does mean I get a free Heavy Slam into the Now Ego slot, and now I have both your Pokemon to try to stall out the sleep. But 3 for 3 on Sleep Powder so far. Is Now Ego Trick Rooming? Oh, that is really cool. I didn't think about that. That's really interesting though. Because if Snorlax wakes up, my opponent is screwed. The sun's also going to expire after this turn. Although that's good for my opponent, actually. Yeah, the sun times out perfectly. But I do have Wide Guard on Celesteela, which is going to be pretty much my ace in the hole. I think now you switch out Now Ego and Sleep Powder Celesteela. So I'm going to protect Celesteela. And I'll just go for a high horsepower onto Now Ego to try to catch the Torkoal. Actually, no. The thing is, do you switch in Torkoal? Because if you do, then you don't get the sun up. Because sun expires this turn. So I'm actually going to opt to target Lilligant instead, because that punishes my opponent if he doesn't switch into Torkoal. Either way, this is beneficial. Yeah. Of course, I might not even wake up with Snorlax. Okay, now you go to switch up. So that's actually good, because sun expires now. So my opponent isn't going to have the sun up, and I get to burn another turn of sleep. Just kind of annoying, because all my Pokemon are asleep, but as soon as I start waking up, it'll be okay, because my opponent did set up Trick Room for me. And Snorlax wakes up, which is actually quite fortunate as well, so that's really nice. Facade does a good amount of damage there. And yep, Sleep Powder goes into Protect. Perfect. Sunlight fades as well. So now I can Wide Guard. The question is whether I actually want to Wide Guard or not. I could just Facade. That is the question. I'm probably going to Wide Guard, yeah. I will Wide Guard and just Heavy Slam Lilligant. Or sorry, Facade. Yeah. Basically, Torkoal's not going to do any damage. Like, Torkoal's main means of offense are Heat Wave and Eruption. Lilligant does Protect, though. So this could be scary, because Torkoal could go for, like, a Flamethrower or a Fire Blast into Celesteela, so we'll see if it chooses to do so. But if it uses a spread, like, if it doesn't, sometimes, you know, Torkoals won't even have, yeah, there we go. It just goes for Eruption. Perfect. Nice. So, that's good. This also means that I could double up into Lilligant this next turn, although I'm not sure I want to do that. Doubling up, yeah, actually that doesn't make much sense. Like now you probably switch Torkoal back out to reset the sun and Sleep Powder, but I'm still just going to play it safe in Wide Guard and Facade. Torkoal also doesn't, it's not going to be able to beat my Marowak and Salamence if I just wake up quickly enough. It could go for a single target fire type attack now. The fact that it stayed in indicates that it might be going for that. But nope, it's just Eruptions again. Yeah, so my opponent may be hoping I'd switch out or not go for Wide Guard, but I'm just going to play it safe right now. There's really no reason not to. So I'm just going to target down this Lilligant because I don't want to be put to sleep, and I probably get put to sleep here on the Celesteela. Yeah. So my opponent is 3 for 3 right now on hitting Sleep Powders, which is kind of annoying, but what can you do? But that's okay. So I think now you probably just protect your Lilligant, but that's fine. I'm just going to stall out this Trick Room, so I'm going to switch out And I'm gonna bring Mence in. Yeah. So I haven't really taken any damage right now. My opponent is kind of setting up for an endgame where Torkoal sweeps, but the thing is that Trick Room is about to expire. And now he goes at 1 HP, Lilligant's very low as well. The Trick Room was definitely an interesting play because Lilligant was still like the fastest Pokemon on the field. So, you know, my opponent, like if I didn't have Wide Guard, there actually could have been in a lot of trouble. So once again, Paul's team showing why it has like some of these really cool techs. So Mence is going to come in. Intimidate's not doing anything right now, and I'm asleep, but I just got to try to wake up now at this point. And the Lilligant actually doesn't opt for a Sleep Powder, which is interesting. And yeah, Eruption doesn't actually even bring me down under half with Snorlax. That's just one, Snorlax's bulk, and two, you know, how important Sun is for Torkoal. So my opponent bringing in Torkoal there was perfect for me because the Sun never went up. So now my opponent's fighting with the Torkoal endgame without Sun, which makes this just a lot easier for me in general. As now Ego does come in. We do know that as HP Ice, but it's Focus Sash, and we've seen Power Gem and Trick Room as well. So it either doesn't have Protect or has Sludge Bomb. Regardless, I'm just going to Facade that slot. Shouldn't be able to knock me out. In fact, I'm actually just going to attack with both because I don't have to worry about Beast Boost at this point. You know, if you crit Snorlax, I get a chance to wake up with Salamence. I'm just going to Dragon Dance. So, yeah. Yep, now Ego just Power Gems. That's fine. That's going to knock out my Salamence, but now I just knock out now Ego with Facade, and Torkoal's not going to be able to win this 1v3, especially without the Sun up. So, yep, pretty straightforward game that really came down to the leads, I think, because my opponent went with Lilligant Torkoal and I was able to knock out Tapu Lele immediately. Like, that just put me in such a major advantage. And I led specifically trying to counteract Torkoal Lilligant because I felt like most other combinations would be really bad, whereas, like, Salamence, Marowak covered most of my opponent's Pokemon, pretty much, and lead combinations. So the Eruption does bring me down to my berry. I wasn't too worried, though, just because, like, you know, Marowak's going to be able to win against the Torkoal anyway. So I'm going to bring out Marowak now. And I've already taken a turn of sleep, as we saw. So even though my opponent hit all the sleep powders, I was still able to win, fortunately. And this team does have a pretty decent matchup against it. I think I'm going to go for... We're just going to recycle. Yeah, even if my opponent crits me. Actually, maybe I should have just attacked, because if I do get crit here, that would be bad. And if I don't wake up with Marowak, and then Celesteela doesn't wake up either. But if I don't get crit, then I'm pretty much set. All I have to do is avoid a crit this turn. Even if I get crit, I'm not quite sure crit Eruption would knock out because it's not single target anymore. So let's see. Yeah, it would have been close had it gotten a crit, but that's fine. So I'm basically stalling it out. Like, Snorlax is gonna win 1v1 against Torkoal anyway. That's why I went for the berry, just to, you know, set up for the end game. I'm just gonna recycle again now because even if I get crit, that's fine, and Marowak wins the game at this point. So pretty intense game, and Marowak does finally wake up, but. Yeah, fortunately, like, Lilligant Torkoal is always so scary to play against because there's the Sleep Powder and there is the potential to obviously just go for Eruptions. And you never know what Lilligant's actually carrying. Like, it could run a Z-move, a Sash, Wide Lens, and Torkoal actually opting for Heat Wave this time instead of the Eruption. So, yeah, that's where, like, having Wide Guard on Celesteela was so important because I think what my opponent was hoping for was, okay, I've been in a position now where I can just click the Eruption button and sweep, but Wide Guard really saved me there. It stalled out Trick Room, and my opponent really didn't have any potential to really do anything. So 4 turns of Trick Room gone by, and in fact, it probably helped me more than it helped my opponent just because, you know, my Pokemon were pretty slow, and Lilligant was the fastest Pokemon out on the field at that time. But we do wrap up with a win in our first game today, which is nice. Definitely, I think it's kind of funny to see Lilligant Torkoal. Like, people were joking about how, like, you know, normally it's really cool to see, like, what the post-Worlds meta for any VGC format is like, and typically you see, like, really cool stuff, but then for, like, VGC 17, it's like we've come full cycle because Lilligant Torkoal was used in the beginning, and people have still been doing well with Lilligant Torkoal, especially at the recent regional championships, and this is definitely a weird post-Worlds meta where it's like, I don't even feel like, I mean, the Worlds teams definitely have, obviously, some impact on the metagame, but it doesn't feel like previous years, and, like, VGC 17 is, like, such an open format where, like, so many things really could work, but yeah, we're going to find Great from Italy for our next opponent of the day. Running a team of Manabuzz Fini, Magnezone, Garchomp, Ninetales, and Arcanine. So, you know, this is very resemblant of Sam Pendalis' team, just replacing the Xurkitree with the Magnezone and the Lele with the Fini, and both have similar roles. So, obviously, we used that team earlier. That was the team that got second at Worlds. Wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of similarities here. So, let's see how I want to approach this. Wow, my opponent locked in really quickly. I have to, like, Salamence is nice because of, like, it just does really consistent damage, but it also takes a lot of damage. That's something I have to be careful about. Celesteela is really good if I can avoid Arcanine and Magnezone, and my best answers, I mean, I have a lot of answers against this, actually. I actually kind of want to lead Coco just to Volt Switch Put on some pressure. Coco plus... I think it's very likely my opponent leads Fini and the Mandibuzz. If that's the case, it's pretty bad for me. And I'd have to try to pressure with a knockout immediately. I'll go Solomon's Coco with Celesteela in the back and Snorlax for this one. Persian's still okay, but the Fini just makes me a little bit more concerned. Foul Play doesn't do as much as I'd like. Marowak is a tough Pokemon to leave on the bench here. It'd be really nice, actually, given that my opponent has Magnezone, but the Fini plus the Mandibuzz really scare me because I think my opponent surely brings both, but it could be wrong. So, we're going to get into the second game. Let's see what my opponent brings out this time around. Scary comp. Magnezone is also even scarier because it can have Sturdy. Although Sturdy with Ninetales on the team would be interesting, but I suppose, you know, it still works because you don't necessarily have to bring Ninetales out. So we do see the Mandibuzz, but it's actually Magnezone coming out next to it. Okay. So I've got Coco and Salamence. The downside is I do set up my opponent's terrain. The upside is I do have Earthquake. So the question is, this is actually a really big turn 1 immediately. Because I don't know what Magnezone is going to do. I could just double up into the Mandibuzz for a knockout immediately. But then I could be taking like a Thunderbolt into Salamence, which might just knock me out. Alternatively, I could Volt Switch and EQ. That's the play I'm more inclined to make right now. Yeah. Although, it'll look really silly if Magnezone protects. And Mandibuzz typically doesn't carry Protect. But it's like, if you're my opponent, you've got to be worried about Coco just going for an electric type attack onto Mandibuzz. I guess I'll play it safer since I have Snorlax. So I'll Volt Switch and Z move Mandibuzz. Yeah, I really wanted to Volt Switch EQ Magnezone, but if Magnezone protects, I'm screwed. Mandibuzz to switch out. Maybe Garchomp coming in? Yeah. Good play. Does Magnezone protect? Doesn't. So I could have gone for the play I wanted to, which was Volt Switch EQ, which would have worked out. I just thought it was maybe a little bit too risky, but yeah, the reason why I thought that play also works is because like I'm pressuring Mandibuzz so much, so you'd be really scared if you're my opponent. And it's likely now that the Magnezone is going to go for something like a Z move. So had I just stuck with my gut, it would have worked out quite nicely. But yeah, the downside is if Magnezone protects and I just Tailwinds, that's really bad for me. Garchomp hangs out with what seems to be like 1 HP. Salamence actually gets knocked out. That might be Spec Zone. It's Life Orb. Whoa. Yeah, EQ definitely would have been nice there. Okay. I'll bring out Snorlax then, because I can high horsepower just to knock it out. That is kind of a frustrating turn 1 though. Like I would have been in a phenomenal position if I just went for the play I wanted to, but no worries. Life Orb Magnezone, that's really cool. And obviously I set up my opponent's terrain for him, which wasn't good either. Now the question is like, do I think Magnezone's going to protect? Because if it does, and I Volt Switch out, that's not good. I'm going to just switch out into Steela and high horsepower Magnezone. Yeah. I need to knock that out, because if I do, then I can still have a Celesteela endgame. But yeah, that turn 1 play, I really wish I had just gone for it. Volt Switch EQ. Garchomp protects. Okay, that's good. Hopefully Magnezone doesn't Thunderbolt the Coco slot. It could be a double protect right now. Oh, no. He has Discharge as well? I don't think the crit mattered there. Hopefully I hit high horsepower. Please hit. Okay. I mean, I'm still in a pretty bad position, though, to be honest. I definitely wasn't anticipating Discharge. There wasn't really much counterplay I could have done there, either. Like, yeah, Life Orb Magnezone just ended up being a major threat. Should have just went for Volt Switch EQ turn 1. Because it's so unlikely a Mandibuzz would just stay in front of a Coco and a Salamence. So my opponent doesn't know I have EQ either, so I ended up playing a little bit too safe that turn 1, but no worries. So Mandibuzz comes back in. The only issue is I can't Belly Drum, and that's really bad for me. Salamence, like Garchomp hanging out with literally 1 HP is so unfortunate too, because if it didn't, I could lock myself into an electric type attack. But clearly I can't. Can I make any cute Skydrop plays right now? I don't think so, right? I think I just have the Dazzling Gleam. What if I knocked out Mandibuzz, though? Like, I Volt Switched? Who does my opponent have in the back? If I can knock out Mandibuzz, then I can Belly Drum with Snorlax. But the thing is, Garchomp still probably has a Z move. Yeah, I guess I'll just Gleam. Facade. That really sucks, though. Unless Mana Buzz doesn't have Foul Play, then that also gives me a small window of opportunity. Like, Mana Buzz surely Tailwinds here. I'd be shocked if it didn't. Could maybe Foul Play Snorlax, but Tailwind's definitely the correct play, yeah. So I was thinking of, like, Volt Switching Mana Buzz. Yeah, but I don't think that knockout anyway, because I'm Scarfed. So Tailwind goes up. Let's see, I'd expect Feeny as the last one, maybe Arcanine. It's Ninetales! What? Whoa. Huh, that makes this really interesting, because I actually have a solid chance at winning now. Or not a solid chance, but better than I thought. So the thing is, I'm Scarf Coco, but I don't think a Gleam will knock out anyway. And Mana Buzz will probably want to Roost right now, as Ninetales would presumably go for a Blizzard. Mana Buzz definitely Roosts. I don't think a Gleam and Facade knock out Ninetales, which is the bad part. And I think 2 Blizzards knocks out my Coco anyway. What if I Gleamed and Belly Drummed? No, then you would just Foul Play Blizzard to win. I can't Belly Drum, unfortunately. Gleam and Facade and hope it knocks out Ninetales. Or hope that Dazzling Gleam just knocks out Mana Buzz, because I maybe outspeed even with the Scarf. Oh, Ninetales Aurora Veils. Huh. I am still faster, but surely Mana Buzz will Roost. If it doesn't Roost, I think I win. Yeah, it does. Although this is now interesting again, because now Ninetales maybe only gets 1 Blizzard off. Because Facade plus Gleam, another combination might... Oh, that's so close. But I didn't bring it down under 50% the first time, which is really scary. Yeah, this is one of the downsides of running Facade. Just gonna Gleam again, and just... Wait, Facade is 70, but Stab 105. High horsepower is lower. Yeah, just checking that. Oh, that's so close. I don't know if Gleam plus Facade is a roll on Ninetales or whether it just survives. I feel like it's probably a roll, which makes this even scarier. Because the thing is, if I just knock out the Ninetales and it only gets 1 Blizzard off, I can just Dazzling Gleam Mana Buzz, and Mana Buzz's Blizzard won't do much to me. I just need to not get frozen right now. That's step 1. Okay, step 1 achieved. Step 2, I need to hope I can knock out Ninetales this turn. Alright, Gleam plus Facade, let's see. It's so close, but I don't think it will. I think I'll hang on with like 5 HP. Foul Play, yep, and relax. So it does have Foul Play, unfortunately, but that shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone. Oh, that's so close! Oh, that's a bummer. I'm fairly sure another Blizzard will knock out my Coco. Oh, boy. I mean, if it doesn't, then I just win. Do I even just win? No, I not necessarily, because Hail... Well, I'll faint from Hail anyway. So last turn a Tailwind? Yeah. 1 turn. Yeah, so I'm just gonna Gleam, but I just get knocked out. And Mana Buzz wins against Snorlax 1v1? I think. I might have to fast forward this. Yeah, Coco faints. Actually, you can just Foul Play here. Yeah. Yeah, basically if I knocked out Ninetales, I had a really solid chance of winning. Like, I needed to knock out from the combination of Facade and Dazzling Gleam. This game kind of came down to me, like, had I just stuck with my gut in the beginning of the game and just gone for the Volt Switch EQ play, I would have been in a phenomenal position. And I think I should have taken that risk because the chances of the Mana Buzz Tailwinding in front of a Salamence or the Coco are just so unlikely. So had I picked up that knockout, you know, I knock out like, basically Salamence just, or sorry, Celesteela wins the game. Like, that would have literally been a game-winning play on turn 1, but I decided to play a little bit too safe, and I ended up getting punished. In the end, it was still really close. I think if I do knock out Ninetales there, then it becomes single-target Dazzling Gleam, and Mana Buzz is only stuck Foul Playing against Coco, so I think I'd actually just end up winning. So I really needed to knock out the Ninetales, but I'm curious, you know, what the roles were there. You know, obviously running Scarf Coco and Snorlax with Facade and very little attack investment means, like, it's more difficult to knock things out. You know, had I had Return, that could have been a game changer, but we've seen how important Facade can be for this team as well. So, yeah, like, in the end, I just put myself in a position where I wasn't in the best, like, yeah, I should have just gone for Volt Switch EQ, I think. And like the Garchomp switching in was also bad too because it meant my Garchomp, I couldn't pick up a knockout against it, and I had to switch out the Tapu Koko. Salamence like leaving Garchomp with 1 HP was also very unfortunate because had Garchomp just been knocked out, I would have locked myself into Volt Switch instead of Dazzling Gleam. But in the end, yeah, super close game there. I ended up losing, and I can't feel too bad about that loss because I can pinpoint exactly what I could have done better, and ultimately, like, it might have come down to a couple damage rolls there as well. But in the net, yeah, and like in the future, like I probably should have just played more aggressive that turn 1 since I had a favorable lead matchup and had pressure onto the Magnezone immediately. And Magnezone was by far the biggest threat to my team. My Celesteal also went down without doing anything, and you saw how important it could have been in that matchup against a Mandibuzz, a Garchomp, and a Ninetales. So really well played by my opponent, and kind of kicking myself for not playing more aggressive turn 1. But it's good to learn from that. So yeah. It's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you enjoyed, leave a like, and I'll catch you guys next time. All right, peace.